Our film begins with the male lead of our series, whose name is Lujan. Lujan is a young person who believed that he was born lucky. When he was born, his family was extremely happy, so much so that even his grandfather died because of that happiness. But that luck which Lujan used to be proud of turned into sorrow, and he began to see his family members dying one by one, and likewise he lost everything that was important, until finally he became an orphan and ended up in a lonely place. Lujan became exhausted, and in his heart remained deep sadness. In the end, he writes a letter saying, "Please, I don't know if I will continue living in this world, only take care of my cat." Likewise, in the letter he clarifies one important matter, which is that he does not want to die, but the situation he is in keeps becoming harder, and he decides to take his own life. Friends, the day has arrived when Lujan planned to kill himself, and that day coincides with the day the famous Japanese writer Osamu Dazai killed himself. In the last 5 minutes of the time he planned to end his life, Lujan's luck comes to him. In the next scene, we see the female lead of our series, whose name is Gia. Gia is a smart girl, and although she grew up homeless, she is a girl who knows very well how things work in the city. Throughout her life, Gia attached herself to a person she called Brother Xian, and he taught her how to survive in the city and the easiest way to take money from men. This girl is very clever, she is not normal. Gia always thinks about how she can get money. She is a brave girl, and the opposite of her is the male lead of our film, Lujan, who is a quiet person, accompanied by stress and sadness. But suddenly, two men whom Gia wanted to scam add drugs to her drink in order to rape her. They take Gia in a car to take her to a deserted place, but Gia pretends that she wants to vomit. Although her mind is not clear, the driver stops the car, and he becomes annoyed by what Gia is doing. Friends, at this time we are shown the first meeting and introduction of Gia and Lujan. We see Gia escaping from kidnappers, and she tries to escape by throwing herself into the river, and here is Lujan, who wants to destroy his own life. But suddenly, he sees a girl struggling in the water, and Lujan forgets about killing himself and jumps into the river to save this girl. After that, the girl loses consciousness. When she wakes up, instead of thanking him, she directly punches Lujan in the nose, and she says, "Who are you?" He tries to explain himself, but blood is coming from his nose, and Gia says, "Give me my money, I want $3,000 from you." Gia shouts loudly, and she mixes the English language with the Japanese language. The next morning, we see Gia again forcing Lujan to give her money. She has turned money into her personality. After that, Gia hears a knock on the door. When she approaches the door, she sees an elderly woman through the door hole. Gia acts scared so that Lujan will think the old woman is a bad person. This old woman brought Lujan the house rent, but Gia takes the money without asking anything and closes the door face with tears of joy. On the other side, we see Lujan wanting to kill himself. He prepares everything related to himself and takes a shower. This Lujan is mentally unstable, and we see him standing on a table wanting to hang himself when Gia enters. Gia, acting like a crazy person, says, "I want to help you," and she brings rope and clothes for hanging, saying, "You see how I'm cooperating with you, right?" Lujan, shocked, climbs down. He realizes he has found someone crazier than himself. Gia starts stealing Lujan's clothes and even arranging his bed, and he is surprised. The next night we see Gia forcing Lujan to go to a club. In the end he agrees. When they arrive at the club, Lujan drinks a lot and becomes very drunk, while Gia leads him, shouting his name loudly. She raises her voice excessively, and it is compared to fighter jets dropping powerful bombs. All the neighbors, shocked by the shouting, tell her, "Be quiet, girl, or we will call the police." The next morning we see Lujan again trying to kill himself, but suddenly Gia wakes up, and because of Gia's shouting, Lujan falls to the ground while he was previously standing on books. After that, Gia sees Lujan's family picture and says to him, "This family is your family, right? All of them are dead, I mean, but how did they die?" Lujan says, "I killed them," saying it in his mind, thinking, "This one is troubling me, let me scare her." But Gia, being different, says, "I like people who kill one by one, I love it, you are not normal." In the next scene, we see Lujan and Gia together at a restaurant. Lujan is still trying to scare Gia because she is dangerous. He takes out a knife and stabs it into the table. Gia is surprised and says, "Where did you get this bravery?" But Lujan, being foolish again, spins 360 degrees and says, "I want to kill myself." All of this was a dream of Lujan. After that, a strange man enters the place and starts eating Lujan's food, even drinking his water. This strange man asks Lujan, "Is this girl your lover?" And Lujan says, "I don't want to answer that now." Then the man takes out money and says to Lujan, "I have an opportunity for you to improve yourself," and he tries to give him $5,000. But Gia, getting angry, throws water on the man, soaking him completely. Gia says, "If someone is not found standing, he is found lying," and she starts wiping his face forcefully. In the end, the man runs away like a mouse that saw a cat. The next day, we see Lujan in the bathroom holding a knife, trying to kill himself. He tries many times because his mind is unstable. Then we see Gia playing TV like mobile gaming, and the door is knocked. When Gia opens the door, it is the person knocking. It is someone Gia used to work with. She refuses to open the door, but in the end, he enters the house. He tells Gia, "You want to do the thug work alone and hide from me, but but I won't allow it. You must come with me. He tries to forcefully take Jia. Meanwhile, Lujan is playing with a knife, thinking about how to kill himself, but an opportunity appears. When Lujan comes out of the bathroom, he sees Jia being held by the man by the neck, saying, "Come back with me." Lujan asks, "What is going on here?" Before he can say a second word, a violent beating begins. Jia tries to free Lujan from the thug but fails. The thug finally tries to kill Lujan and takes out a knife. Lujan does not move, he only watches. But suddenly, Jia saves him and hits the thug's head with iron. The next night, we see Lujan and Jia riding a motorcycle together. Lujan thinks to himself, "This Jia girl looks like someone from my family." He feels fear and anxiety and thinks, "Did your family also go through what mine went through, Jia?" On the other hand, Jia is surprised that someone she just met has suddenly created extreme trust in her. She cannot understand why Lujan's heart is opening to her, not the opening of a door, but the opening of a heart. Jia feels that Lujan is someone who can be trusted and relied on. After that, Lujan stops the motorcycle, very frightened, and tells Jia, "As long as you stay with me, danger will come to you. Please stay away from me." Lujan believes that anyone who gets close to him, or even becomes his friend, will die. Jia thinks to herself, "Being with him gives you security. There is no other place I can live," she says. On the other side, we see Xian, the owner of the biggest bar in the city and the boss of the city's gangsters. Xian is a man with strict rules and also someone who loves and cares for birds. We see him cutting an avocado and comparing it. He examines everything carefully. On the other side, we see Lujan and Jia arriving at this hotel. They ask the staff whether they can get one room to sleep in for the night, and it is Jia who does the talking. Eventually, a room is found. The old man says to Jia, "Write your name and your number in this file." But Jia refuses and says, "Old man, I'm sick. I have nothing to write." She then tells Lujan, "You will stay in this room for some time. I'm leaving you, so fill in your information in this file." Lujan is afraid of taking on heavy responsibility, but at the same time, he does not want to hurt Jia. That night, we see Lujan listening to the sound of a fight coming from the neighboring room, but he does not show any reaction. He just listens quietly from there. After that, we see the old man, the hotel owner, demanding compensation money from Jia. "You and your friend damaged my room," he says. Jia cleverly sneaks one of her friends into the room without Lujan knowing who this person really is. From there, this person escapes and steals Lujan's motorcycle, taking it away in advance. After that, Lujan runs into the room quickly, saying, "She is my friend. No, she is my friend's girl. Please don't harm her, old man." Lujan gives the old man the money he demanded from Jia. Lujan pays the very last money he had saved to protect himself, and at that moment, only a small amount of money remains in his bag. After that, Lujan and Jia decide to leave the hotel. As they are about to walk out the door, the men who previously tried to rape Jia suddenly appear. At that moment, Jia and Lujan are caught in a very difficult situation and are surrounded. In the end, Jia and Lujan manage to escape from the criminals. When Jia and Lujan leave the hotel, Jia sees a bag outside, and from inside it she hears the sound of a bird. She immediately realizes that this bird belongs to Xian, whom she knows as Brother Xian. In the next scene, we see Lujan and Jia hiding in a place that looks like where homeless people sleep. Jia tries to organize everything. She tells Lujan, "We had 3,000, the hotel took it away, now we only have 300 left." Lujan is not paying attention to what Jia is saying. He is only thinking about sleep. In his mind, he says, "I followed this girl for so long that now my soul wants to leave my body. I am so sleepy that even killing a camel would feel easy." In the end, Lujan, clearly extremely tired, falls asleep on Jia's shoulder. On the other side, we see Xian inside Lujan's house, searching for the girl he trained, Jia. After that, Xian opens Lujan's refrigerator and takes out cold milk. He drinks it calmly, but suddenly he sees the door opening. He watches closely, and finally he sees someone holding a knife trying to kill him, but Xian stops him and starts beating him. "This is fear that cannot be described normally," he says. At this moment, Xian is extremely angry. The person he beat is one of the men he uses for criminal activities. This person is called Jin. He says to Xian, "Jia took your bird and a man was with her. The two of them beat me like this and you also added to it." He continues by saying that they stole the bird, creating a lie. On the other side, we see Lujan waking up from sleep and seeing Jia bandaging his head. She gives him pills and water. Even though Jia has a serious injury on her leg and feels a lot of pain, she puts Lujan before everything else. Lujan talks too much and she gets annoyed. She removes the bandage from his head and sticks it over his mouth, laughing. After that, Jia thinks to herself that Jin could find them at any time. Therefore, she decides to change her appearance and loosens the hair that was tied on the sides. Lujan sees the change in Jia's face and says, "I am just watching her beauty." Although Jia's tough look, which she is known for, is still visible, a strong change can be felt. In the next scene, we see Xian holding Lujan's ID, which means that both of them are now officially being searched for, Lujan and Jia. At this time, the money Jia and Lujan have keeps decreasing, and they cannot even afford the bus fare. Jia decides to go to the city to visit relatives to get money, and she leaves the bird with Lujan. Lujan Lujan thinks to himself, this was your chance to hide Jia, but his legs do not move, and he is surprised by that. After that, we see Jia taking a motorcycle she owns to the market to sell it. When she sells the motorcycle, she suddenly sees thugs working for Xian who are searching for her and Lujan. She hears them talking about Jin, and Jia asks herself, I wonder, is Jin alive or is he dead? After that, Jia, looking emotional, gives the money she got from selling the motorcycle to Lujan. He tells her that they should take the bus. Jia directly asks Lujan if he heard Jin's heartbeat when she was beating him. He stays silent and then finally says, no, I didn't hear any heartbeat from Jin. Jia starts telling Lujan that he should have finished that person, that he should not have left him alive. Don't you feel anything? She says. He replies, everyone will die. We will all die in the same way. Lujan and Jia get angry at each other, and each of them walks in a different direction, but Lujan is still carrying the bird that Xian is searching for on his back. After that, he puts the bird on the ground and says, if I die, there is no one who will think about me. Without Jia, how can I feel happiness? Lujan decides to kill himself. He heads toward the river and throws himself into the water. While he is inside the river, he remembers Jia and sees her in the water. In the end, he comes out of the water, unable to kill himself. In the next scene, we see a woman working for Xian, one of the gangsters. She goes to the old woman who was Lujan's neighbor and shows her Lujan's picture. She also shows her Jia's picture and says, tell us where these two people are. At least you might have seen them since you are their neighbor. The next day, we see Xian still searching for Lujan, thinking to himself, why can't we find this small boy? Xian does not know that Lujan has no friends at all. As far as anyone knows, he can be considered completely alone. That is why they have not been able to catch him until now. After that, we see Lujan at the bus station, searching for Jia, trying to hand out her face sketch to people. But that sketch becomes another disaster. It is not a drawing people can recognize easily. Anyone who sees it becomes scared. Lujan wants Jia to be recognized this way, but it feels like his mind is not working properly. Laughs. After getting tired of searching for Jia, Lujan starts calling his uncle who takes care of birds and fish. His name is Shari. Shari owns a shop that sells fish and seafood, and he used to be a gangster. Shari is Lujan's uncle. Shari never wants to help Lujan, and once again Lujan feels the loneliness of the world closing in on him. On the other side, the woman Xian sent to find Lujan enters Lujan's house. Inside, she finds boxes full of books. The books were written by the famous writer Osamu Dazai. According to history, everyone who lived close to him during his lifetime eventually died. The woman Lumin says, this writer always tried to kill himself but survived, while the people around him died. While they are investigating, suddenly someone appears at the door looking like he was hiding. He says, I came to meet Lujan. I have no other bad intentions. In the next scene, we see Jia suffering from extreme hunger. She arrives at a place selling food with no money and starts talking to the food as if it were speaking to her mind, saying, come, let me eat. After distracting people, Jia eats the food quickly and leaves, but she returns shortly afterward. Eventually, the restaurant owner catches her. She tries to hide the stolen food, but the old man shows mercy, gives her food, and Jia eats as if she hasn't eaten in 10 years. After she finishes eating, the old man brings her more packed food and says, I can see you are hungry, take this food with you. I like helping people who are suffering. Jia smiles happily, but she remembers her friend Lujan and thinks to herself, I wonder if he has eaten. She decides to look for him. Before she leaves, the poor restaurant owner is confronted by the landlord demanding rent money and threatening him. Jia steps in aggressively. Somehow, she produces money from an unknown source and gives it to the landlord, shocking the old man. As Jia leaves, she accidentally bumps into someone and a paper falls from that person. It is a drawing made by Lujan with the words, I'll be waiting for you at 6:00 p.m. As Jia walks, she sees Lujan's drawings posted on walls. Then she finally sees Lujan himself. She rushes to him, hugs him tightly and apologizes shyly. On the other side, we see Jia and Lujan go to Lujan's uncle and steal his car. We then see Jia happily driving the stolen car, while Lujan for the first time also looks happy. Lujan and Jia stop at a place to drink and have fun. Afterward, they see a woman inside the stolen car holding her daughter, who has been given sleeping pills. Suddenly, the woman comes out crying and pours gasoline over the car, trying to kill her child, but a phone call interrupts her. It is the child's father begging her not to harm their daughter. Lujan and Jia decide to save the child after hearing the entire story. Lujan distracts the woman while Jia secretly takes the child from the car. Lujan then carries the child away. The child wakes up in Lujan's arms while her mother screams outside, demanding her daughter back, not out of love but out of desperation. Jia checks that the child is safe, while inside Lujan's mind a battle begins. He remembers his childhood, when his mother constantly insulted his father and told Lujan he was useless like him. Those words caused Lujan to doubt himself and attempt suicide many times. After that, the child's father arrives, deeply emotional. He thanks Lujan and Jia and explains that his wife suffers from severe depression and sometimes does incomprehensible things. I am happy about one thing only, that my daughter is alive, he says and leaves. leaves. Elsewhere, Lumin tells Lujan's cousin that Lujan is mentally ill and wants to kill himself, and that he might include Jia in his suicide plan. In the next scene, we see Jia arrive in her hometown and knock on the door of the house where she was born. A child opens the door. Her older brother welcomes her calmly and respectfully, but Jia's face is filled with anger. She asks only one question: "Where is grandmother?" He replies that the grandmother has been placed elsewhere and that he and his wife live there now. Lujan senses unresolved tension between Jia and her family. In the next scene, Xian and his gang violently confront Lujan's uncle and his son at the fish shop, beating them and forcing them to reveal Lujan's location. The injured uncle says there is a GPS on the stolen car, which leads them to Lujan and Jia. Later, Lujan and Jia's brother talk, mixing sadness and humor. When marriage is mentioned, the brother jokes that Lujan and Jia already look like a real couple. When they return home, Jia is frightened and asks Lujan where he went. She later searches Lujan's bag and finds cigarettes, realizing her brother forced Lujan to buy them with their limited money. Tension escalates between Jia and her brother. They later eat together as a family. A knock at the door brings a gangster Jia knows. He turns out to be the father of Jia's sister-in-law. Arguments erupt, truths are revealed about stolen money, and Jia's heartbreak deepens. The next day, Jia visits her grandmother's grave, crying and remembering their happy moments. Lujan comforts her, making her feel she is not alone. Elsewhere, Jia's brother destroys the house in anger, until Xian and his gang arrive and beat him severely, sending him to the hospital. Later, Lujan and Jia sleep in a house. When Jia wakes up, Lujan is gone, causing her deep worry. Xian's gang captures both Lujan and Jia. Xian accuses them of killing his bird and threatens Jia, saying her brother survived only by luck. Lumin rescues Lujan. Lujan decides to save Jia, crying. Xian humiliates Jia, but she stands up to him, saying her biggest mistake was joining him and that Lujan showed her there are good people in the world. Xian orders Jia to be thrown into the water with her hands tied. She remembers her moments with Lujan. Lujan sees this and saves her. Xian and his gang are finally arrested by the police. Lujan tells Jia they should live in a small seaside town and open a bakery together. Jia smiles and says she is lucky to have met Lujan. The film ends there. Our respected viewers, we warmly welcome you. Please subscribe to this channel so you can enjoy more exciting dramas.